14 of the most skilled student welders from across the country come together in one national welding challenge. Find out who welds their way to the title of Project MFG National Welding Champion. Welcome to Clash of Trades, presented by Project MFG. I'm your host, Stephanie Quayle. This competition reflects a real-life welding assignment by requiring the production of a project with both time and budget constraints. Each welder has identical materials and 3 hours on the clock. What's more, they have no idea what they will be welding until the clock starts. Up to 100 points are available throughout the competition, and the welder with the highest point total wins.
Right now we're here to celebrate you. As you all aware that you're the top of your competition series that happened over the summer. You're the cream of the crop, and we're glad that you're here. And now we're going to find out who's the cream of the cream. I guess that's what we'll talk about, right?
As we're walking in here, I want to let you guys all know your competition starts right now. You are going to have 15 minutes from the time that I give you a WPS to make a good quality weld. I'm going to show you guys how to set it up one time. If you mess it up, it's going to be on you. Fair? All right. Follow me up front, please. Go.
The welders start their virtual welding challenge. The task involves a simulation of shielded metal arc welding or stick welding. The competitors make practice runs using the machine's advanced technology to alert them of adjustments they can make for a higher quality weld. Before time is up, they must complete one final weld without guidance. Whatever score they finish with determines their placement for this event.
You guys have 2 minutes remaining. Please turn off your cues or else your score will not count. All in all, guys, excellent. If you have not used these before, you guys did a really good job.
Who rose to the challenge of virtual reality stick welding? With 10 points available, Wyatt Gwynn comes out on top with 9.6 points, followed by Peyton Schmidt with 9.3 and Nick Leone with 9.2. The written test results are still kept under wraps. Now it's time to see what these welders can do as the competition begins to heat up. The project specifications, equipment, materials, and time limit are all identical.
I think it's honestly very exciting not knowing what it is because everyone's entering on the same playing field.
Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, start.
I want to challenge myself, so I want to see something I've never done before.
What do we got?
I graduated from the University of Alabama with a business degree and didn't find any jobs that I wanted. College is saturated right now, and you don't know what jobs are going to be available here in the future, but we all know that the trades are going strong. My dad's been super supportive of this path. He is the one who bought me my first welder, so that was pretty much what got me into it. It was a cheap 90 amp flux core welder, and I fixed his exhaust pipe on his truck, and it felt so good to be able to do something where he would have had to take, his truck to the shop. I went and got underneath it and just patched it up, so that was really probably what got me, him getting me a welder and just supporting it and then saying, yeah, go for it.
I lost a competition when I was 17, and then after that I just drove forward and I said I'm not going to let that happen again. It's pretty amazing that I have the opportunity to be here. I had a fascination with metal, how you could take something so solid and turn it into whatever you wanted. I've always been fascinated with fire as well, so just metal, fire, and creativity all in one.
Everybody out? Come on out. Guys, I just got a phone call from the engineers. We got some change orders.
Uh-oh.
Okay? We're gonna go ahead and go to the mild steel trophy base. You guys see that? Right there it says process GMAW spray transfer. We're gonna change that to short circuit transfer.
I haven't been paying attention to anybody else, man. Just here doing my thing. Trying to be a little bit different with my approach to things.
Peyton approaches his project from the inside out, laying the pieces out flat, TIG welding on the inside to tack the pieces together, and then folding it up into the final shape before attaching it to the base.
Put myself in a predicament.
Other competitors assemble their products upright on the base, welding from the outside.
Please hold, please hold. Please hold, please hold.
It's definitely a lot more than what I thought though.
Yeah, in what way? Tell me.
Just like putting it together, like actually figuring out which pieces I need to put on first, and like especially that top piece. I didn't know if I should weld them all first, grind down, and then put that thing on the top, or just put it on the top and try and weld to it. I boxed it up, and it looks like it might be a 30-second oversize to the base. Because of the way that I tacked it up, it might have been a little gap, but I mean, there's really nothing I can do about it now.
Right.
But
because
yeah.
we're in the contest, and there's a time component.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. You think you're gonna finish on time?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna finish on time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see myself owning a fabrication shop. The jobs that you can do are limited by what tools you have. Tools aren't cheap. So I'm just doing what I can, and I'm working part-time, going to school part-time, and there's always gonna be work available, like always.
While welding is a hands-on skilled trade, it also requires brain power. Welders must have a deep knowledge of welding processes, materials, types of gases, math, and intricate industry terminology and symbols. It's time to find out who excelled at the surprise written test, created by welding school instructors. Nick Leone takes the lead with 18 points out of 20 available, followed closely by Peyton Schmidt at 17 and Blake Schroeder at 16.8. Will their book smarts translate in the hands-on competition? Let's watch more action unfold and test your mettle.
I've always been better working with my hands than I have with book work, so I felt better welding than the actual written test.
Clayton's written test score fell right in the middle of the pack. He'll have to make up for the lost points by proving his practical welding expertise. Before doing the actual welds, Clayton uses scrap metal pieces to practice the MIG and TIG welding processes. The project specifications call for alternating MIG and TIG to close the gaps all the way around the trophy.
I just kind of practiced a little bit of everything. What I knew, brought it back to basics. Definitely the appearance of my TIG welds are not the best, but that's always something I can work on.
It's been a while since I've done a lot of the book work. I'm pretty confident in my welds, so you know, if someone wins, then they definitely deserve it. That's the effort that I want to give and the attitude I want to have when I'm done.
I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. I think I'll just do it. I'll just do it.
You know, I didn't want to use my practice metal or my scrap metal to dial in my machine because I was honestly in the beginning worried about my time. So I just thought I just need to throw this thing together, put welds on it, and just try and do my best. I started welding and then adjusted my settings to my piece, which is not what you're supposed to do. But when they put the timer on you, they put you in a new place, down to the gloves that you've been using every day, to the welding hood that you look through every day, that's what adds up. That's what makes it difficult.
Whew, welds are not looking good today, boys. What the hell? There's no way that gas could have gotten turned off, right? Because I just struck this arc and it acted just like there's no argon at all. I'm not going crazy, am I?
No, tap that, the argon's full. Tap that pedal for me. Where'd you lose your argon to?
Whoa, 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 whoa. God dang it.
All right. Why is this happening?
I've never seen anything like it.
If you're on a different welder that you're not used to, settings on one are going to be different on the other. And in my job right now, I'm hopping on 4 or 5 different welders a day. It's not new to me knowing that different machines are different. It's just having the time to figure out your machine before you're just thrown on a timer and everything like that.
You got something making contact between two things that shouldn't be making contact.
But what? There's nothing.
I hope it wasn't something from the other booth that came over into this.
As the Lincoln Electric pros swap out the machine, Peyton does what he can outside the booth so he doesn't lose any more time.
It puts me in a mental state where I have to overcome something, whether it be like fear, anxiety. It adds for moral character, growth because of how much trouble I was having in the welding booth.
Excuse me, sir. I'll squeeze by you for a second.
Go ahead.
It's hot.
Is it? That's what it is then.
Your machine was touching his machine and shorted his machine out.
Oh.
Uh-huh.
They uncover that the competitor in the next booth over accidentally put his machine in flux core mode, which turned on a new wire feed. That wire crossed under the wall into Peyton's booth and shorted out his machine.
This kid here's got a winning partner, and I hate to see him struggling.
With a new welding machine in his booth, Peyton gets back to work.
Yeah, let me see.
I learned a lot. I would read over the WPS. I would check my welding machine multiple times to make sure that settings were still correct after I had changed things around. But I stuck with it and I just tried to make it look as good as possible. I made sure that it held pressure and it came out looking decent in the end.
Contestants, you have 10 minutes left.
Despite the machine issues, Peyton finishes with time to spare.
When I was walking my piece to the table, I had not seen anybody else's. I was down bad, maybe just in the middle of the pack,
I mean, I always have doubts. I feel like if you get too comfortable, then that's when failure slips in.
Clayton turns his final project in with less than 5 minutes on the clock.
I was sitting down there earlier thinking about when I started a couple years ago in high school welding, and I didn't think I'd amount to anything close to this, so it's just a huge blessing to be able to even have been invited here.
With the competition over, welders present their final products and creative elements to the judging panel.
I just tagged on Lincoln Electric and I tried to put a little background marks in there with the grinding disc.
Excellent use of texture.
I had 5 minutes left at the end, and I finished without any major hiccups, so it was all cool beans.
It was cool beans,
It was cool
right.
beans.
After creative element judging is complete, Nick Leone and Peyton Schmidt are still battling for first place, with Nick at 31 points and Peyton at 28 points with a total of 35 available. Next, the trophies are put to the test. The pressure test, that is. Remember, these trophies are designed to be pressure vessels, meaning they must hold air. Everyday examples of welded pressure vessels are propane tanks, air compressors, and water towers. 4 competitors have no leaks and received perfect scores on their pressure vessel tests: Peyton, Jesse, Luke, and Clayton. This pushes them to the front of the pack. Peyton pulls ahead of Nick for the first time since the virtual weld, with 43 out of 50 points available. Jesse Oliver and Luke King land in the top 3 for the first time, and Clayton is trailing by only 1 point. However, there are still 50 points available in the final round of judging. Who will be named champion? It's almost time to find out. Judges call back competitors for more detailed questions before making their final decision.
How did you end up being so close to the time clock?
I did a lot of practice runs to make sure that I didn't have any leaks, because
I really wanted to hold up to pressure.
So you scored well on the pressure vessel integrity part of the test. You scored a perfect score on that, so you didn't have any leaks, which is outstanding. You were close on the time at the end of the day, so I'm glad you turned in something on the creativity, but a little more thought and effort could have gone a long way there.
Your approach was a little bit different. Seeing the TIG welds on the inside.
Yes.
Is that something you do normally?
Yeah, every time I make a box, I will lay it out and make sure that everything is plumb and flush, and then I will hit it with fusion tacks on the inside and fold it up into a box and make sure that it's square. Yep.
That works for sure. I mean, you did it successfully. Your pressure vessel held its integrity on the leak test 100%. The one question we do have going forward to you is where do you see your career in 10 years from now?
10 years, I see myself owning my own shop. I'm down for whatever makes me money, to be honest.
But welding is definitely the career you
want
to
yeah,
choose.
welding is definitely, yeah, absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Now for the moment we've been waiting for. Let's start with third place. With points for being the first to finish and a solid performance in the detailed visual inspection, Blake Schroeder takes home the third place title. Our second place competitor made up for his slightly lower score on the written test by welding a nearly flawless final product, only missing 1 point in the detailed visual inspection. This was enough to move Clayton Womack up to second place.
It's a pretty good feeling. It definitely encourages me and wants me to drive forward and pursue this even more.
And now, the winner of Clash of Trades and the Project MFG National Welding Challenges, Peyton Schmidt. Despite some hiccups in the booth, Peyton proved to be a well-rounded welder with critical thinking skills when things got tough. He also only missed 3 points in the visual inspection. Peyton takes home $3,000 and the title of Project MFG National Welding Champion.
To have won the competition, it feels amazing. Knowing that I was up against 14 people and I was the best, it's crazy. There's no other words to describe it. I really can't describe it. With the money that I won, I will be able to do so much with it as far as starting my business. I will be buying nothing but big tools with it. My dad, I'm sure he'll call me up, tell me how proud he is of me, and I'll thank him for how much he's done for me, and it's gonna feel awesome to tell him that one.
Thank you for watching Clash of Trades. Now it's your turn to join the movement.